Do you ever ask yourself, how can I change the world? This is something that I always ask myself. And there's one person that I look to for inspiration: former President George H.W. Bush. President Bush is someone who's lived an amazing life filled with service and dedication to his beliefs. President Bush began doing this at a very early age. Throughout his life, he was dedicated to his country, his family, and most importantly, God. Now, the earliest time President Bush did this, and it made a great impact in his life, is when he was 18. When President Bush was 18, he had just graduated from Phillips Prep, which is where he went to high school, and he was accepted into Yale. Now, instead of going to Yale, President Bush had just learned that Pearl Harbor was bombed. So instead of going to this amazing Ivy League school, he decided to go and join the Navy. He became the youngest fighter pilot in Navy history. He flew 58 missions and he was shot down during one, which was a combat mission. He was rescued. After his career, he received many medals, including the Distinguished Navy Cross. Now, he didn't know it, but his dedication to service to his country and receiving this amazing medal was something that would actually help him later in his life to become the President of the United States, which is his greatest achievement, I believe. So after Bush left the Navy, World War II had ended, he actually went into the oil business. Now, he was offered to work for his father, who was a very successful businessman, but he chose not to. He moved to Texas with his family, and he decided he wanted to make his own path. He was not a fan of nepotism. Now, this strong belief allowed Bush to have great success in his business career. His company was very successful, and he became wealthy. It's no surprise to me that after this, Bush decided to become a public servant. He was very well respected, and he was eventually elected to the House of Representatives in the 7th District of Texas. Now, after doing this, Bush held many other political offices that were all amazing. The director of the CIA, vice president, just to name a couple, there are others. The point being, he always stood for what he believed in. And this allowed him to achieve all these amazing things. Eventually, Bush ran for president, as we all know. He ran with Dick Cheney, and he won. Just another amazing accomplishment that President Bush was able to make just because he stood for what he believed in. We obviously can't all be fighter pilots. We can't be the President of the United States. Most of us probably can't even be extremely successful businessmen and businesswomen. But that's okay. The point of this all is that if you do what you believe in, you stand for what's right to you, you'll be able to change the world. George H.W. Bush is just a shining example of this, and he's been one of the most inspirational people in my life. So I hope you learned about doing what's right, standing for what you believe in, through looking at the life of this amazing man. Thank you for your time. Have a good night.